All right, folks, thank you for joining me. It's a Sunday night session. I apologize for arriving late. I was attending to some very important business, and I want to say I am sincerely sorry that I'm running behind. But I can assure you that we are going to run it up tonight, talking about major events to finish off the year 2022. And critical year, you guys saw it's a historical year that we're going to be completing. And I don't think that we're done. And I'm specifically going to talk about some upcoming dates and events that we can mark on our calendars and prepare for, because I still think that this thing gets shaken up. I think we go to the downside further. And I don't know what exchange goes next. I don't know exactly what false flag they plan for us next, but we're going to continue to watch this unfold. Okay. And so tonight I'm going to give you guys the events that I got on my list and my schedule to watch for over the next month or so. And then that's going to be after we go through our current events, cryptocurrency full update for you guys tonight. I appreciate everyone for tuning in. Now let's take a look here. CoinMarketCap is telling us that Bitcoin just went below 17K. That's 16.9 for our Bitcoin. Ethereum at 1,246. XRP is going to be at 37 cents. We'll go into the TA. Let's go into the sticks at the end of this one. Interesting note here from Dave Greta. Friendly reminder, the S&P 500 returns from 2000 to 2011 were zero. So it always amazes me, this traditional stock portfolio play, 401k program, the pension funds are going bust. And we just continue to ask, how's your program working out? And it's unfortunate. We don't like the fact that the pensions, that the 401ks and retirement accounts are getting completely obliterated right now. So, and we were looking at, the different options out there that are available. And thankfully, there are finally more options now for precious metals and for cryptocurrency. I'm not here to tell you where to invest your money or give you financial advice, but I have partnered up with someone down below for your precious metals, specifically rolling over your 401k retirement account. And if you just want to buy a big bag of precious metals, they'll ship it to your house too. So get in touch with my people if you're looking to do that. But it's truly sad. And you go back and you look at the bonds, historical, terrible losses in the bond markets. Okay. And then we go back and we look at these major index funds that are supposed to be, just a balanced play. Everyone needs to have some of these stuffed into their portfolio. And like I said, how's your program working out? It's not looking good for the major indexes, and the stocks, I think, still have much more downside, a lagging space, a lagging asset class compared to the cryptocurrency. So be prepared for that. Let's continue on. Here we go. We got the big boys meeting over in Saudi Arabia. This is Mohammed bin Soleimani. I think I got that name somewhat correct. Mohammed bin Soleimani from Saudi Arabia, the current king, saying goodbye to President Xi after 3 days of meetings. This is from Wall Street Silver. They say time will tell, but judging from the cold and humiliating reception of Biden and the extremely warm reception of China, the U.S. is no longer a close Saudi ally, and we are seeing that the deals are getting done with the BRICS nations, and it's accelerating very rapidly for all to see now. The mainstream media finally catching up 2 years later to the truth that we've been laying down here for the last 2 years now, and we've been tapped in for about a decade on our research and understanding and operating businesses every day in this market. But to finally come see it in now you're seeing the actors meet, shake hands, do the deals, and it's an absolute mockery of our, I don't want to say too much. Let's be nice. I hope Joe's doing good. Let's just say that. Let's just leave it at that for tonight. What do you guys think? And James Rule XRP sharing this one with us. BRICS is working to develop its own financial infrastructure, including a joint payment network, with some member states having already switched to trade in local currencies in order to reduce dependence on the US dollar and euro. Now, this deals Egypt right here joining the BRICS New Development Bank. Let's check out this article right here. Thank you, James Rule XRP, for sharing this one from us. Egypt joins the BRICS New Development Bank. So this is exciting to see, right? The BRICS nations accelerating, but it reminded me of past partnerships that we saw with Ripple and XRP in that region, in that country as well. Here we have Egyptian Central Bank approves use of RippleNet. This is being shared to us today's XRP news, October 11th, 2021. For those sending money abroad to students or those living abroad sending money back home, Your life is about to get much easier thanks to Fawry's new partnership with an unnamed Egyptian bank after receiving approval from the Egyptian Central Bank. The transfer service will streamline the process for those sending and receiving money and will make Egypt's remittance revenue more efficient. The new program will also make use of the cryptocurrency Ripple and its blockchain network to make sure there's no corruption or lost funds. Now, this is the main problem here that we've been dealing with, the misinformation. Like I tell you guys, there's just people that are down and outright lying to you. That's disinformation. And then we just have misinformation and confusion as well because they're calling it the Ripple cryptocurrency when we know that there is a distinction here between the company Ripple and the cryptocurrency XRP. But nonetheless, we go in further, and I knew there was another one too. So I pulled up this article as well. Check it out. Egypt's largest bank joins Ripple network for cross-border payments. Egypt is in the top 5 nations globally in terms of remittance flows from expat communities, and that was the National Bank of Egypt is to harness blockchain technology from Ripple for a remittance corridor with the United Arab Emirates. Right, so we just showed Mohammed bin Soleimani right there, Saudi Arabia, that region, Egypt, firing up the corridors for the XRP Ripple on-demand liquidity network as well. And so we start to see here public announcements, public handshakes, mockery of the United States and the Western financial world is getting left in the dust, or at least that's how the story is going so far. We still think that the United States and the Western nations, the IMF, Federal Reserve, powers that be, still have a couple cards up their sleeve, but this is the battle that we're reporting on every single night. The powers that be not wanting to give up control of this new financial system that's going to be a level playing field, that's going to move to asset-backed currencies, that's going to move to what the hell are you going to back your CBDC by? Because I don't want to use your CBDC unless it's backed by something and you're running it on open source, permissionless, decentralized ledgers like the XRP ledger that actually work efficiently and scale for solutions like CBDC. But please skip us and pass us with the abuse of our rights that we've seen and could potentially be used with this technology. It's a very simple discussion for me. Let's go asset-backed. Let's run it on distributed ledger technologies. There's a few solid blockchains that actually work. And if it's not going to be XRP, who's it going to be? Has been the main question that we've been asking for as long as we've been in the cryptocurrency space. If it's not going to be XRP or XLM or some of the other ISO cryptos that have real utility, have functional scalable ledgers that are efficient and ISO compliant, which I do think matters. Other than that, there's only a couple that even come into the conversation. But we've been making the case here and we've been seeing the partnerships with Ripple. It's just one after another, every single corridor that matters. And as you're seeing with all of the BRICS nations, the people, the governments, the central banks that are moving away from the US dollar, dropping the reserves, dropping the treasuries, no longer doing trade deals, don't care if you kick us off SWIFT. We got gold, we got oil, natural gas, commodities. And we're willing to fight for it. And they're putting up one hell of a fight in the currency war, the commodity war, the supply chain crisis. And then you're seeing it go live now in kinetic warfare, unfortunately, in the Ukraine situation and in other regions as well. And that's the unfortunate part about this is that every war has been a central banker war. This is what we've been fighting about the whole time. And what do you have here? Open source permissionless. Anybody can use it, XRP and a few other cryptos that can move humanity forward. But they stall them up with the SEC lawsuit. They run all sorts of programs over the last 2 years to shake things up, didn't they? To accelerate a program. A designed collapse of an existing system that obviously is outdated and obviously are whether you want to call them enemies or, for me, when I look at these countries, I just say they're working for the interest of their people. And I'm speaking as an American most of the time, but I speak on behalf of humanity. We all want to see this moving forward, and God bless these other regions, these other corridors, the largest bank in Egypt, for firing it up and using on-demand liquidity. It just makes sense. Let's get it done. And their people are sending a lot of money. It's a tremendous use case in those regions, and we would love to see it. Continuing on, Ryan Selkis, how's your program working out? Big-time Ethereum maxi, right? He is the founder of Masari Crypto, financial reporting and market intelligence for crypto professionals. Okay. But he's been a big hater of XRP and Ripple. That's been for sure. But we ask, how's your program working out? And Ryan says here, I've tried to operate ethically in this space for a decade, but I'm starting to just feel guilt by association at this point. Disgusted and signing off. Now, what an interesting different, what completely different reality from what we just discussed with Ripple and XRP and what some of these other crypto projects are going on versus these proof of work maxis and the narrative that they've been pushing, right? He says he's been trying to operate ethically in the space for a decade. And this is why we said that 90% of the space doesn't really turn us on, doesn't get us going, doesn't have real utility, isn't solving big problems. Hey, it's cute, bro. If you miss the pump, you might as well skip out on it because the real utility long-term solutions are not going to be solved with this little hyped project, this little hyped token. And then, when we go to the big boys, Ethereum, Bitcoin, how's the program working out? It's a complete failure. Obviously Bitcoin has no utility, store of value. How's that working out, bro? And then we have Ethereum proof of work updating to proof of stake. And we called it the biggest flop in cryptocurrency history, Ethereum 2.0. The rollout was an absolute flop, an embarrassment to the space, and an obvious Ethereum monopoly free pass. That's all part of the rigged corruption that we're trying to expose and fix. And people, act like we need to have Ethereum in our bag, man. I'm not here to stand on some moral high ground, but for one, the program just doesn't work out. And for two, you are holding back this country. And that's not what we're trying to do here. We want the level playing field. Now, I'm not saying that anything bad should happen to Ethereum holders, believers, the people that are actually working on Ethereum. I hope it works out for them. But for us, we just don't got time. Like these other countries that are having to adopt the new systems faster, the new, distributed ledger technologies, moving back to asset-backed currencies faster, we've been able to sit back and hang out and stall out. And that's the problem that we're trying to fix here. And, being involved in the space for nearly a decade, and he's starting to feel guilt by association and wanting to sign off. Now, these are the OGs in the space that all of the newbies come in and look up to. The Pomplianos that shield BlockFi, the Ryan Selkis that, has been his own program. And some of these guys, I respect them. I listened to them when I first came into the space, Pompliano and others. And I believed it. I soaked it up. Okay, this is cool. And then I learned, wait. First off, I see that you guys were able to pump it using Tether and other manipulation tools, right? And continuing perpetuating a hopium dream that eventually something's going to get done on this ledger. But in the meantime, we see here that there is no true utility or use case associated with this ledger. So that's not going to get it done in the new financial system. And you guys have been shilling this thing for everyone, all the noobs getting caught up in your guys' scheme, man. It's very unfortunate. Getting caught up in FTX, BlockFi, and I could name about another half dozen or more programs that were all shilled. And we've just been on the sidelines watching the show like, man, that's unfortunate for the clients of FTX. But yes, we knew that the exchanges were going to go bust. When Tether fails, we'll be watching that one from the sidelines too. Like, I told you guys just a month ago that I got completely out of Tether, stopped trading because the liquidity on these exchanges, I do not trust any of them. So thank God KuCoin was able to get me tethered to XRP the hell off the exchange. Thank you very much. I'll see you later. And I was able to get a nice little bag doing that too, by the way. But how's your program working out? Thank God that these guys perpetuated this Bitcoin deal because we used it to our advantage to short the hell out of the Bitcoin over the last 4 months and took advantage of that. Now, continuing on to the cryptocurrency news, let's continue here. Charles Gasparino, Bank of America CEO Brian Moynihan, now on White House shortlist to replace Secretary Yellen, Janet No-Tailin Yellen, if she decides to leave post as expected. Move comes after well-orchestrated media blitz and attendance at state dinners. He, along with Governor Raimondo, are front-runners. More later. That was reported 2 days ago, but huge shout out to Charles Gasparino for staying over top of the Ripple versus SEC lawsuit and reporting, getting that inside scoop from Wall Street. Very interesting to see Bank of America Ripple partner. Now, isn't it interesting how all roads lead back to Ripple behind the scenes? Ripple partner going all the way back to 2016. I mean, before I was in crypto, Bank of America had the Ripple partnership. Brian Moynihan, CEO of Bank of America, getting ready to move on in. And how perfect, right? How perfect. We've got our people everywhere that we need them. We got them right where we want them. Now, we got this one over the weekend. Everyone got all riled up in the XRP community because of Charles Hoskinson saying that he's hearing rumors that there's going to be a settlement on December 15th and that there's going to be catastrophic ramifications for the rest of the space. And to that, we say, yes, we knew that was coming because 90% of cryptocurrencies did an unregistered security, an ICO, to American investors, which brings in the power of the SEC. Many of these blockchains still aren't even decentralized, but many of them did do an unregistered securities offering before they had the blockchain built out. The way that they structured their ICO definitely meets the definition of an unregistered security offering. So yeah, it's not a surprise in Charles Hoskinson saying that Cardano does not meet that definition of a security, but that's up to the SEC. And as you're seeing, if you really want to go up to battle against them, you might need some big bucks here, like Ripple just spent $100 million, Charles quoted. These cases involve hundreds of millions of dollars, and they get way drawn out. And I think that, here's the thing. I want to invest in Cardano just because I like Charles Hoskinson. I have that much respect for the guy. I haven't invested in Cardano. I've never held Cardano, but I do respect him as an American businessman and entrepreneur. But that being said, a lot of these cryptos, we are expecting them to be tied up as securities and to eventually just go away because they don't have utility. So this does not surprise us, but you guys see here, he says on December 15th, he's hearing rumors of a settlement, but digital asset investor shares a Kendra Hill post here underneath this. Now, you guys got to check this out. I'm not going to play the clip. Most of you guys have already listened to this clip. Basically, he's just saying that it's going to be December 15th, rumors for a settlement. And DAI says right here, perfectly said, the Bitcoin maxis seem to be raging over XRP lately. Kramer calls it a con. Hoskinson seems scared that he's next and even mentions that Bitcoin and Ethereum is XRP about to be the only digital asset with clarity. Anyone seen those Hinman documents? Kendra Hill down below. Now, he shares this post here from Kendra Hill. We've been touching base on this one. Cryptocurrency will be made illegal. And this is from the OG Kendra Hill blog. This is not a maybe, this is a warning. Nothing is left up to chance. Our world is always planned years in advance. If you fail to plan, you are planning to fail, and failure is not an option. Allowing additional currencies to exist when the world is only using one would be disruptive, so it will not be tolerated, and it will be easier to stop than you think. The illusion that Bitcoin, for example, is untouchable, the reality is that the government controlled through the use of mining pools. Any cryptocurrency aiming to be decentralized digital currency will not survive. The one that we will use already has been chosen. Now, we touched on that when we did our stellar XLM deep dive about how XLM is, kind of set up to be that one currency, that one world currency, and how XRP is meant to be used for derivatives on the back end, right? So we touched on that on the XLM deep dive. I highly recommend you guys check that one out if you haven't already. Now, the next one here, we got to look at this chart from Dark Defender. I found it interesting that Charles says is that we might have, a settlement by the 15th. Then we have Dark Defender here saying that we got to make a decision on the TA by December 14th. Dark Defender says, my dears, we checked the long-term XRP status yesterday. Here's an update on the 4-hour chart. XRP is again close to making a solid decision on or before the 14th of December. So here you guys go. Here's the chart. You guys can take a look at this thing. Decision time on or before December 14th. Okay. Current support at 38 cents. And this has been our resistance since November 25th. Now, he shows there that the above resistance is going to be that 47 cent level, okay? So we'll see. We'll be watching this one closely. And at the end of this session, I'm going to show you guys the key dates. Sorry about that. At the end of this session, I'm going to show you guys the key dates that I'm actually watching for some potential moves here. But this one from Fred Rispoli in regards to Charles' comments here. He heard rumors and then discusses potential catastrophic consequences for the industry and emphasizes how Cardano is not a security. If there's a valid basis to rumors, my hunch is settlement would be a XRP equals a security pre-2018 because that would be catastrophic for non-XRP tokens. So basically saying that before on-demand liquidity was really starting to get adopted, that XRP would be a security or something along that. So the XRP that they were using early on and those sales could potentially be a security, the way that Ripple was marketing them or getting those deals signed could have made that XRP a security, but today's XRP will not be a security, and obviously that would have major catastrophic ramifications for the rest of the space. Now, the next real update that we got here, James Phelan reporting on this one. Parties request that the court set a deadline of January 4th, 2023, by which the non-parties must ask to seal any portions of the summary judgment materials or else waive any objections to the court's ruling on the parties' sealing applications. Okay? So by January 4th, we got to see what else they want to have redacted. Now, we have this one from Nathaniel C.J. Rothschild. This is important, folks. The price and the market cap of a coin isn't invested capital. So a lot of people think that market cap means how much capital is invested into a stock, a commodity like gold, or a cryptocurrency. But it's just a reflection of the order book, which exchanges can manipulate a lot. This is especially true for BNB on Binance. So what does he mean? Basically, the order book on these exchanges is going to control what the market cap is. So basically, orders are being set for a given price. So that's the data that we then put into the market cap calculation. But he's saying that is rigged, right? That is rigged. These exchanges can manipulate that a lot. And as you're seeing, obviously, if one new person, say one new person buys Bitcoin for 30,000 today, that would then move the whole market cap up because it goes off the last traded price. So as you can see, using Tether as the main stablecoin to prop up the space, and then these exchanges being able to prop up their own tokens, creating fake liquidity and volume for coins like Bitcoin and others, and their own tokens, of course. Right? So these are the different types of tools and ways that they manipulate this thing. And then everyone is going around screaming market cap bro at us. And we're like, listen, the market cap bro, it kind of has a little relevance, kind of more in the stock market or gold for that matter. But, basically we're just pulling the numbers from the exchanges. But as we've been seeing, these prices do not represent the real value of some of these commodities like gold, silver, and do not reflect today's price of XRP does not reflect the value of the distributed ledger and of one token down the road. And so this is the opportunity for us taking advantage of these suppressed coins while the market cap bros are trying to figure out, what inputs to put into their calculator. Now, in regards to market cap versus liquidity that is available, this is how I recently just brought this up, and I thought it's a great way. People need to transform the way that they think about market cap and then comparing that with supply that is available for liquidity. Okay? Now, in regards here, I'm about to show you guys that Christine Lagarde just mentioned on-demand liquidity. And this is exactly the difference between a liquidity solution like an XRP token or an XLM or others, where their main utility is liquidity. Liquidity is the biggest quote unquote problem, function, utility based off of value in the new fourth industrial revolution, in the new world, in the new financial system. In my opinion, it's the biggest value. The biggest chunk of value is going to be solved and going to be placed within the liquidity solution, the liquidity utility. I'm not going to rattle off the numbers on Swift, on ACI Worldwide, and others, but you guys get the difference here between market cap bro and supply available for liquidity, and basically, what is the amount of liquidity that any given token can provide, any given distributed ledger technology can provide, like an XRP, like an on-demand liquidity. Now, this one here from Jack the Rippler, we got a big boom. Christine Lagarde is talking about on-demand liquidity. Let's listen to Christine. Let's see what she has to say.
The money market funds experienced acute liquidity strains. You all remember that. This reflected a structural liquidity mismatch at the heart of their operations, with them offering on-demand liquidity to investors while at the same time investing in more illiquid assets. And that is because we must contend with potentially new sources of financial stability risk. For example, One area in which the financial system is adapting to new technologies is in the so-called crypto assets and decentralized finance, DeFi. Crypto assets are exceptionally volatile and pose considerable risks to consumers. Recall, after peaking in November 21, that was just a year ago, the price of Bitcoin fell by almost 75% in 1 year. And only last month, we saw the chaotic, complete collapse of FTX, a crypto asset exchange once valued at $32 billion, and a critical player in that field. While the impact of such episodes has been contained so far, systemic risk could easily arise from increasing interlinkages between the crypto ecosystem and the traditional financial system. Policymakers, including macroprudential authorities, must carefully consider if and how the crypto ecosystem needs to be regulated. Europe has been at the forefront here with the Agreement on the Markets in Crypto Assets Regulation, also known as MiCA. The money market funds
All right, there you have it, folks, from Christine Lagarde herself. And, people make fun of me for, back in the day when I was more into looking at the numerology and the stuff like that. And people make fun of me for looking into that stuff. And it's like, Christine Lagarde, all these people worship this stuff. They all worship numerology. Don't take it up with me. Bro, they're the ones that do the FTX sacrifice that she's so giddy about on the full blood moon lunar eclipse. On our election day, and we called it so perfectly. And people want to, come at me, and I'm like, I'm sorry. It's what they worship. You see her mention the numerology of 21. And there was an old clip of her talking about, how important sevens were. And we just talked about how we were going through the 7-year, the Shemitah year. Now we entered the Jubilee year. Folks, major dates and events. I'm going to get right on into it, folks. But you can see she specifically mentions on-demand liquidity. Well, what do we have here, folks? Ripple patented XRP-powered on-demand liquidity network for cross-border transactions. The United States Patent and Trademark Office officially granted the patent on January 26th, according to the documents filed on the USPTO website. Ripple has patented a network computing system for its XRP-powered cross-border payment product on-demand liquidity. Now, you guys see the perfect script, the perfect setup. Who's walking in with Christine Lagarde to the Bank of International Settlements? God bless him. None other than Brad Garlinghouse. Who's going down to Antarctica? Taking a fun little trip down to Antarctica? Our David Schwartz. Right? And it's important to be at those tables. It's important to be at those discussions. And it's important to understand how they are operating. A mockery to our face, behind the scenes, the deals have been done. The greatest transfer of wealth in world history, most people distracted, the crypto kids further distracted with NFTs, meme coins, and then we have Bitcoin, Ethereum, proof of work maxis. Meanwhile, we have Christine Lagarde, former head of the IMF, now the head of the European Central Bank, right? Specifically citing on-demand liquidity after she makes fun of their sacrifice of the FTX exchange. They are about to come in with sweeping regulations, as you guys see, with the MiCA bill that she just mentioned there in Europe. Europe at the forefront, and where have we just gotten our most recent on-demand liquidity partnerships in France and Sweden over there for XRP on-demand liquidity. Now, as soon as you get it in one corridor, one region, that's the flip of the switch moment. And then we just start to bring on more on-demand liquidity, more adoption from there. As soon as we get regulations, green light from Christine Lagarde or whoever the regulators may be, Once we come to that agreement, right, the corridor is lit up, the on-demand liquidity starts to build up, and that's a completely different conversation from market cap, bro. And as I said in my video today, when I was talking about, I dropped a video earlier today titled, "Could Coinbase legally steal our Songbird and Spark tokens?" I highly recommend that you guys check it out. And at the end of this session, maybe I'll have time for some Q&A on the most recent developments in the buyback proposal and whatever else you guys want to run by me. But I was talking about this potential here, and right now, I said in that session earlier today, that I don't care if you think your XRP is worth today's price of 37 cents, if you think it's worth 37,000, it is up to us as the legal token holders, or so we thought we were, to make our claims loud, often, and we need to be heard, because we're coming up and we have new laws that are being written that can undermine our rights as investors and owners of digital assets. So I highly encourage you guys to check out that video. I'll be talking more on this further. But you guys need to understand that there is new laws and regulations coming out here where they can seriously undermine your rights, as far as us being able to legally lose out on our rights to our Songbird tokens and our Spark tokens if we don't make a claim within 2 years of it being sold off. And the same thing could be happening here with if the SEC somehow able to get a ruling that XRP is a hybrid security, it's systematically important. Christine Lagarde needs, she needs 20 billion for the IMF, and maybe the IMF needs 10 billion, and Christine wants 5 billion for the European Central Bank. Then they have to do some sort of buyback. They have to do some sort of hybrid security like they did with gold, right? Because it's going to be established as a new reserve currency, just like Ripple said in 2017, the simple goal of making XRP a world reserve currency, and making it as liquid as a G10 currency. Very simple goals. And it looks like they have accomplished it. The only thing that we're holding up here is the SEC case. But the point being, we got to make the claim to what our XRP is. We got to make the claim for our Songbird tokens. And we got to understand that this is a special asset. This is a situation that we haven't seen in probably ever. I mean, people were able to hold the reserve currency back in 1930s, right? Until they weren't. And then they shortchanged the American people. And then they set the price higher. Now, is that set price for XRP going to be $5, $50, $500, $50,000? That's a whole other debate. That's a whole other conversation. And I'll get into more on that. Let's continue on. Let me finish up this session, then I'll get back into Q&A session at the end of this, and you guys can ask me some of the most recent developments that we're seeing here with the buyback proposal. But this is why I've been talking about this with a new sense of urgency, and I'm going to continue to bring it up because, guys, this is seriously important. It's not a conversation about $50,000 XRP. It's a conversation about our rights as XRP token holders, our rights to the airdrops and the other, basically property, the other assets, the other privileges that are going to come with holding that reserve currency. We have to understand that, and we have to understand the potential here is a much bigger price than a market bro calculation. The market cap bro calculation only takes it, to maybe we can get a few trillion in there. Maybe we can, go to $5 or $10. And that's where you're going to see a lot of people dump their XRP without understanding that this asset is primed to be set at a much higher price. Whether it's adopted as the one and only reserve currency, or if we're halfway wrong about all of our predictions, our speculations, all of our theories about XRP, if we're 50% wrong, it's still a life-changing opportunity. I mean, shoot, for some of us, it's still a generational wealth opportunity because it's going to get the bag going, and we know what to do. Once we get the bag, we're going to keep it rolling. And we're not going to give up control of that asset, God willing, if we make our claims early, loud, and often. And so that's what we're doing right now, guys. A lot of people were confused about the buyback proposal. A lot of people, get turned off by the 50K. That's fine. That's cool. Pull up for the rest of the conversation because that's only half of it. The other half of it is our rights as token holders. Have you Have you actually, sat down to look at the Uniform Commercial Code that is being amended right now as we speak? While we're distracted by a Ripple versus SEC lawsuit, they're changing the laws at the state level right now as we speak. Wyoming and 3 other states have already accepted it. The rest of the states here in the United States here, getting ready to accept this amendments and updates. Specifically, the Article 12 take-free rule, where if you don't make a claim in 2 years, the asset's gone. It's not yours. The rights of the buyer downstream, the innocent buyer who didn't know or didn't know of any other claims on this property, on this NFT that was stolen, would have superior rights to you if you don't make a claim within 2 years. It's the Wyoming statute. You guys can pull this up and look up yourself. UCC Article 12 take-free rule. Wyoming has adopted it with a few other states. This is happening as we speak, and it's incredible. Because when I was speaking with Jimmy, where it's like, he was right. I was like, holy cow. They have distracted us with the SEC Ripple lawsuit, right? We're all looking at that. Meanwhile, we got the real laws being passed already by the states. And this is what makes the union here in the United States so interesting, is that we get to move state by state level. And you guys are already finding that out. You guys in New York trying to buy XRP, you can't find an exchange to get it done. You guys are trying to VPN it, do whatever you can. Whatever it takes to acquire these suppressed assets, but you guys are seeing some states implementing a different program than others. But we got to understand, we got to know this, we got to have this conversation. Sorry for ranting. Let's continue on. Just a couple more here to go. Michael Branch, roughly 10 hours ago, a large transaction carrying $55 million worth of XRP was detected. That was 143 million XRP on the move. Now, that's interesting. Yeah, we're seeing lots of whale movements, and that is cool. But I wanted to show you guys this. This is big. So what we have here is Ripple partner Bitso launches new remittance corridor. According to Crowdfund Insider this week, major Ripple partner Bitso crypto exchange entered into a partnership with Felix Pago in order to launch a new remittance corridor from the US to Mexico, where Bitso is based. The geography of Bitso operations includes Brazil, Colombia, Argentina, and Mexico. This is the largest crypto exchange in Latin America and is the only crypto unicorn in this region. The new remittance service is intended to provide cheap and fast money transfers for customers. So let's go back here. Let's hold up. So first off, I started out this session by telling you guys that the largest bank in Egypt adopted XRP on-demand liquidity. And then here we have another corridor getting fired up here. And we have Bitso, which is leading the way. The largest crypto exchange in Latin America and the only crypto unicorn in the region is dominating using XRP on-demand liquidity. And we just got the Brazil corridor fired up, and now you're seeing the rest of them go as well. Colombia, Argentina, and Mexico, that got fired up with the MoneyGram partnership. That was a great test over there with MoneyGram, but now you're seeing Bitso lead the way. And you're seeing major whale movements with Bitso because they're one of the few exchanges that's actually getting XRP from Ripple, which to that point, I've been mentioning this and I've been warning about this, is that we're seeing that Ripple's not giving XRP to exchanges, specifically in America, because one, they've delisted it. And so what are they doing now? They're not giving it to any exchanges other than exchanges for their on-demand liquidity partnerships, where they have regulatory clarity, where there's rules of the road, and then they fire up the on-demand liquidity with their partners, and their partners are dominating. Just like got leaked from Ripple Swell Conference, people talking about conversations with Brad Garlinghouse where they're saying that Bank of America is going to have a strategic advantage in the space once they get regulatory clarity using XRP. Not using anything else, using XRP. Bank of America, we just covered this actually in 2 sessions ago, has filed about, a few hundred patents. And now, as I just showed you, Ripple filed their patent for on-demand liquidity. But Bank of America, been a Ripple partner since 2016, filed hundreds of patents. Their CEO is slated to potentially become the new Secretary of the Treasury, take over the Treasury Department, right? And then now we see other partners in other regions like Bitso here in South America, the largest crypto exchange in Latin America, just firing up the liquidity, and it just continues to grow. And they continue to get more XRP month after month from Ripple. which leads me to believe that short term, there's going to be a supply shock for XRP on the exchanges that we're all using, right? But it also leads me to believe that if, potentially, if we get clarity for XRP, that Ripple would be willing to load back up the exchanges here in the United States. So maybe we wouldn't have as big of a supply shock as I'm expecting. But if, XRP is really not meant for us and they only want to give it to banks and financial institutions for basically wholesale payments, it never would go to the retail level. Like, it wouldn't be they'd be giving it to Bank of America so that you could go open up a XRP account at Bank of America. Now maybe Bank of America is going to be willing to custody your XRP, right? This is where this gets very interesting, is that we haven't seen any XRP going to exchanges for retail traders. We've basically only been seeing XRP go to institutions that are using on-demand liquidity. Now, that's been happening for about the past 2 years. Okay. Now, let's take a quick look at the sticks here before we finish up this session. Okay, looking at the chart here, 4-hour Bitcoin chart. You guys see that we went back down to the downside today. This thing has been tracking our moon phase pattern pretty closely. The only thing that I noticed is that we didn't go as low as we were expecting on this full moon that we just had on December 8th. We only went down to about 16,700, and that was about a day before the full moon, okay? So we did set kind of a little micro cycle low here before we recovered back up to 17,300, and now we have broken back down below 17K to start the week, okay? So back below 17K to start the week, not looking good for Bitcoin, but you can see that this pattern's been following pretty closely. But at the time of this recording, I am not trading this market. Now, the key and important dates that we got coming up, folks, mark these ones down on your calendar. Starting out this week, we're going to be having the House hearing that's supposed to include testimony from Sam Bankman-Fried happening on the 13th. Then we have Rupert Murdoch is going to be deposed on the 13th and 14th, and he's the basically the CEO of Fox News, and that's in regards to the Dominion defamation lawsuit, which brings us back to our elections. We have some election lawsuits still underway. Yeah, defamation lawsuit against Fox News by Dominion. Rupert Murdoch is going to be deposed on the 13th and 14th, something to watch there. We have the Federal Reserve is going to be meeting on the 13th and 14th. And then we have the SEC is going to be voting on the Wall Street overhaul on the 14th. Okay, so this is supposed to be one of the largest overhauls for markets and how they operate in decades. So the SEC is supposed to be voting on that on the 14th. And then we have Texas is going to be having BlackRock is going to be, it has been subpoenaed, or basically is going to be giving testimony, I guess, for a ESG hearing in regards to their ESG standards. And that's going to be happening in Texas on 12/15. So that's going to be interesting. I don't know if that's the CEO of BlackRock, but it's going to be interesting to see who shows up from the company and interesting to see what they talk about in that hearing on 12/15. And then, of course, Charles Hoskinson says that the Ripple versus SEC lawsuit is supposed to settle up on the 15th as well. So let's add that to our calendars, right? Let's watch that one. Abdullah Al Youssef, thank you for the SAR25. I don't know what currency that is, but I appreciate that super chat, brother. Zach, thanks for all the effort you're doing for educating us. Buyback is applicable only for USA or also Saudi Arabia. My brother, my friend, I think that there is going to be the potential for this to be adopted in other countries as well. And, we've seen a precedent that happened in the United States back in the 1930s. I don't know, exactly where you guys are at. I know that you guys have already been sitting down at the table with Ripple over there in Saudi Arabia. That has for sure happened, as well as new deals being done with Russia and China and the BRICS nations as well. And so it's going to be interesting to see. I think that you guys are going to be fine, though, because you guys are already getting regulations for cryptocurrencies. You guys are already, getting way more innovation, much more ahead of the game here than the West. So you guys should be doing fine over there. And guys, we're going to do fine without a buyback. In fact, I'm not really like rooting for a buyback to happen. It's just I think that it's necessary to make a claim because I'm in a country of the United States that's corrupt as hell. That's the sad truth. I wish we didn't have to get lawyers involved. I wish we didn't have these people trying to undermine our country. But we're up against evil people here in my country, the United States. As Saudi Arabia, you guys have got your own battles as well, but you guys are seeing major partnerships with Ripple over there in Saudi Arabia, and that Middle East corridor is firing up very rapidly over there in that region. And it's going to be incredible to see because we know what kind of investments, we know what kind of money we got ready to pour from that region into the space. And it's going to be absolutely major. And it's going to be depending on distributed ledger technology like XRP to tokenize that oil market. That's going to just, I mean, we're talking trillions, guys. It's major. Like my mentor, Dan Pena says, we're going to stop using gas vehicles when Saudi Arabia runs out of oil. And that ain't ever going to happen, according to my mentor, Dan Pena. So, that's what he says. But nonetheless, that's a whole other discussion. But yeah, great question. And I do appreciate the super chat there from Saudi Arabia. Thank you for tuning in tonight. I appreciate you guys from all across this planet tuning in and enjoying the show. So we'll see if we get a settlement on 12/15, according to Charles Hoskinson. He's hearing rumors. And then we have the House is going to be going to break on the 16th, and then the Senate is going to break on the 21st. So we have Congress going to break 16th for the House, 21st for the Senate. They're going to be going off for break, and then I want you guys to watch this one. This is a sneaky one. You guys might not, have any, haven't heard of this one yet. On January 6th, the Supreme Court is supposed to have a conference in regards to a Brunson versus Adams court case. I highly encourage you guys to take a look at it, see the ramifications of that case, see how it was brought up, how the clerk of the Supreme Court actually helped them get that case accepted, and check out the implications there. January 6th, the Supreme Court has a conference scheduled for a Brunson versus Adams case. Check it out. January 6th is going to be the date of the conference. Interesting one to watch out for. And then we are also hearing some rumors about some announcements coming next month, potentially, for some asset-backed currencies, some gold-backed currencies specifically. So it's going to be interesting, right? Because we just saw China, Xi's just went to Saudi Arabia. We're seeing record amounts of gold being purchased by these central banks. We're seeing trade deals done with these BRICS nations outside of the US dollar. Rapidly accepting distributed ledger technology, rapidly filling up the vaults with gold, and doing their own deals for the oil, the vast resources that these nations and countries sit upon. Okay? Major deals underway, so I just laid it out there. Let me read this off again for a second time. This week, specifically, this week's going to be lit, guys. House hearing with Sam Bankman-Fried. Hopefully he's going to testify, probably Zoom call in his t-shirt and sweat shorts from the Bahamas, just sipping a pina colada. Sam Bankman-Fried on the 13th. Rupert Murdoch is going to be deposed on the 13th and 14th. Watch that one in regards to our elections. Fed meeting on the 13th and 14th. Most people are expecting another, they're going to increase interest rates by less. Instead of 75 basis points, they're expecting 50 basis points, which is 0.5% of the federal fund rates. So, I think that the markets kind of have this already priced in. So we'll see if this brings us back down to the downside. I think that there's multiple potentials, catalysts that could bring us back down to the downside. But nonetheless, what we've seen on these Fed meetings, watch this one closely, is we'll get kind of a little pump leading up to it before we quickly roll over. So watch out for that one. SEC is going to be voting on the Wall Street overhaul on the 14th. And then we have the Texas BlackRock hearing on 12/15 in regards to the ESG standards. Going to be interesting there. And then, like I said, Congress, we have House of Representatives going to break on the 16th. The Senate going to break on the 21st. Check out Supreme Court, Brunson versus Adams. Look it up. January 6th, conference is scheduled. And then I'm also hearing rumors next month that we're going to have announcements about gold-backed currencies, okay? It's going to be fun, folks, and I'm going to be here with you guys the whole way through. We got time to take some questions. We got 670 with us in the YouTube chat. Thank you guys. If you haven't already, please, let's smash that thumbs up for me. Greatly appreciate all of you guys for keeping it lit here. Sunday, late night session, 10 p.m. on the West Coast. The real one stayed up, and I greatly appreciate you guys so much. Thank you so much. All of our affiliate links are down below for your precious metals and for the other exchanges, crypto wallets. You know the deal. Thank you so much. We also got fresh merch. Has just dropped, and we got more merch on the way, so check it out. Definitely get tapped in. We got the XRP merch, some fresh stuff for you, and more coming. Okay, thank you so much for all the support, guys. What else are we working with? All right. I am out at $3.75. Yeah, this is what I'm saying. So many people are going to be out at $2. So many people will be gone by new all-time highs at $4, right? And God forbid we go up to $10. Everybody's going to be just dumping their bags. The XRP gang will finally get to post the pictures of the Lambos and this and that. The kids that can't help themselves, they're going to have to go buy. What did I see? Some guy wanted to buy a Porsche for it was like $300,000 for this Porsche. I'm like, God, I'm not a Porsche guy. I'm not a car guy really in general. But the Porsche, I was just like, for $300,000, bro, like no, I'm good. I like my utility. I just got myself, I got the wifey a Ford Explorer ST, so it does kind of rip a little bit. Has some juice behind it, but for me, it's about utility. That's why I drive my Ford F-250 diesel 6.7 Power Stroke. I can haul whatever the hell I want. When I need to back up the truck, we can get it done. Utility, baby. And the rides are pretty smooth now in these new trucks. Got to enjoy that. What else are we working with, guys? I want to answer your guys' questions. Thank you so much for tuning in. Not me. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Jemmy, exactly. No Lambo for me. I'm good on the Lambo. $300,000 Porsche. Are you kidding me? Take it. Trash. Personally, I'd rather have a chauffeur. Be able to maybe sip an adult beverage in the back. I'd rather have that. Racing around's fun for a little bit, but come on, man. We got to get some business deals done in the back, baby. Keep it rolling. Homesteading, that's where it's at for me. Yeah, it's all about life on the farm, life on the ranch, life living free, good food, good water, no indoctrination programs for my children. That's what it's about for me. Dual Citizen 589, appreciate it. Not a Porsche guy, Zach? Ugh. I'll have a GT3 and a Ford Bronco Raptor. Yeah, the GT3 Porsche, I think that's the one that was $300,000. Yeah, maybe souped up, whatever. Come on, man. Come on. The Porsches, come on, they do whip around pretty good. They're pretty good. I heard that they drive really freaking good. I have heard of that about the Porsches actually. Glad to see you're not living in your truck, Jay. I could live in that thing if I needed to. That thing is roomy. Yeah, exactly. Can somebody leave or can somebody go? We can't have the 666 in the chat, YouTube. Somebody's got to go to bed, or invite your friends. How about that? Let's invite some friends, smash the thumbs up, drop a comment down below, engage, and let's run it up, okay? It's not bedtime yet. We're still going to go for a little bit, even though I am out of an adult beverage. Zach, how do we take a lien out on our XRP to secure our holdings because of not owning it? Yeah, so I will address that further after I get further advice from the lawyers like Jimmy and others in the confidential committee. And also I'm going to be working with my lawyers on, outside of the committee to figure out what I can do as well. So yeah, I mean, for me, it's unfortunate. We got to get lawyers involved and we got to figure out what we got to do. Don't panic, guys. We're working it and I'm going to let you know. But we got to make our claims loud, early, and often, and we're going to figure out the right way to do it. I don't want to, I didn't bring up my video today was not to spread fear, uncertainty, and doubt. It was to basically explain, guys, this is why we need to have this conversation right now. Who are you? I'm new here. So my name is Zach Rector. I've been talking about cryptocurrency, current events, and the greatest transfer of wealth in world history for 2 years on this TikTok platform. I've done it for about a year on YouTube. We got 52,000 subscribers just rocking and rolling on YouTube. And then as you see, we're about to break through 300K on TikTok. That's the deal that we've been doing for 2 years. And as always, we're talking about all of the asset classes, not only cryptocurrency, precious metals, real estate, and how to run and grow our businesses. We're getting it done. I just did my third installment of my business development program. I'm really proud of that. Although I'm dropping it at a time when it's not popular to talk about starting a business. It's not a popular time to talk about getting anything done because we're all just trying to survive the holidays and Christmas. And I get that. Everybody's in Christmas mode, holidays, whatever you may be celebrating. Everybody's in end of the year. I got no money left and I got nothing left to do here besides just survive. And I get it. But I've been hammering it. So third installment of the business development program. I'm going to be dropping my fourth installment of the business development program here shortly. That's going to make up the main program. And then I have an additional about 10 webinars already planned out that I want to drop, continuing to expand on the content within the business development program. But then also in my Discord group, I'm working, probably going to be doing a real estate deep dive session here shortly. We've done a few real estate. We got some big hitters. We got some guys and gals in the real estate space that share their story, share their experience, and share what kind of deals, what they're seeing on the streets. And that's very important right now because you guys are seeing the real estate lagging, right? Worse than stocks, and incredible opportunities can be coming over the next year. Zach is Illuminati related. I am not related to the Illuminati. I will never sell my soul, and I don't do any Illuminati dances. Zach, do you think that the SEC will force all crypto companies to become MSBs within the US like Ripple? What's a money service business? Well, yeah. Many of them aren't money service businesses, though. So like I said, many of them did unregistered ICO offerings. So they do meet the definition of a security, and they did an unregistered securities offering. So they're going to have to pay their fines. They're going to have to do their deals, or Congress will step in and they'll say, SEC, you need to chill. You didn't give us a level playing field. We had no clear laws. You can't go back and kill all these businesses and these entrepreneurs that were just trying to build. Only the fraudsters is who I want to see go down. The people that are just, not building any real utility, they're going to go away. But the outright fraudsters is who they need to be going after. The Conscious Cat, thank you for the 10 spot. Thanks, Zach, for everything. Is there any truth to the possibility of the XRP trading on the private ledger is different than the XRP on the public ledger? No price action, even though XRP is heavily traded. It's the same XRP, but they could run tests on side chains. They could do some tests on side chains. Federated side chains gives them the ability to run some tests, do some things on a private ledger that would be, different than what we're seeing on the public ledger, but it's the same XRP. For example, you could have a private ledger where it's basically Bank A, Bank B, where they agree that the XRP on their private ledger is worth 10,000 per XRP. Then, based off of, okay, we've agreed that this XRP on our private ledger is 10,000 XRP, we can run tests based off of the supply of XRP that we got, which just happens to be only 500 million for this given corridor. So then they could run that test. You see what I mean? But when they go back, that would be a test. That would be a test. I mean, unless they had their own contractual agreement where that was the deal that they were doing. But that's essentially how you would do it, how you would run tests on a private ledger. I'm not even going out to E or nothing. I'm investing everything into crypto, and I know which ones. There you go. Yeah, that's great. It's great. For me, my focus is always right now is being conscious of what's going out, but continue to focus on growth, because there's an incredible opportunity for us to eat up market share, or our competition retreats, or our competition goes into defense mode. Well, our competition, quite frankly, is going to fold and go out of business, unfortunately. Not that we wish harm or anything like that against the competitors within our business sector, but you guys are seeing it out there in Main Street. You guys understand what's happening in the real economy, and that's unfortunate for them, but it's an opportunity for us to take advantage of, and that's why we're continuing to press on right now. While everyone else is in recession, retreat, the world's coming to an end. This sucks. We're just salivating at the mouth, ready to chomp on the deals that come across, swoop at any given opportunity that we see that we can come across in regards to suppressed assets like cryptocurrencies, precious metals, and business opportunities as well. The session that I just did, my third installment of my business development program, is on growing your business. I compare internal versus external growth. So over the past, 5-7 years or so, while everyone else was growing rapidly, going into a lot of debt, doing all that, we maintained sustainable growth, mostly internal growth. But when we came across opportunities for external growth, opportunities to capture our competition was ready to hand over portions of their business. We were ready to take that opportunity. It had no downside, and it always paid back handsomely. Always paid back handsomely when we acquired our competition, when we purchased them, when they gave up And that was before we even got into the recession. But I gave examples of how I have grown internally and externally, both in my property service business and my media business. Now, my property service business has two main verticals. That's going to be lawn care and landscape. And there's about 27 different services within those two verticals. I simplified it down to two verticals, lawn care, landscaping. And then there's about 27 services that are combined between the two verticals right there. That's all in one business. 27 different service offerings, 27 different services or product offerings, two main verticals. Very little debt, cash flow. Now, as we enter the recession, as our competition falls, we are ready to be that savior. Oh, you guys are ready to close your doors. Okay. Let's see what assets you got left. Let's see what deal we can do. We want to pay you fair value. It's a great opportunity to be in. It's a blessing, but I worked my ass off and we sacrificed to get here. So while I feel bad for Main Street, while I feel bad for the person that is not so fortunate, I didn't run up my business and grow too fast, rapidly. And that's why I'm saying it's the same thing for me with investing. While everybody else is scared, that's when we're doubling down on our positions. That's when we've accumulated over the last 2 years. We were able to triple our bags. Sam Sheffield, 5-spot. Less liabilities for me, the better. Once what we hold takes off, all travel, utility, and continuation of wealth, weather the storm and prepare, Sam. Exactly. And that's why we balance it out between all of the asset classes. That's why precious metals is so important. And we've also made, very clear that if you can't feed your family, if you're going to not be able to afford your kids the Christmas gifts that you want to give them, we got to get it done. You got to take care of your family first. We're not saying and advocating to spend your last $100 on XRP because Charles Hoskinson said it's going to moon on the 15th because we might have a settlement. Or because we got a buyback proposal with our red folder. Guys, I'm just having some fun with my red folder. God, come on. Just having a little fun with it. Okay? But for me, it's not about clickbait. It's a real conversation. It's real strategies. And I will always keep it real with you guys. And that's why you guys continue to tune in. Compare that with other people's programs. Not working out so well. Cecilia, 2-spot, thank you. Do you think we have another dip down to 22 cents? Yes, there is fractals on the TA. There's retracements on the TA that would bring us back down to about that quarter level for XRP. 22, 25 cents, yes. Yeah, and it's because I do think that Bitcoin still gets smacked one more time. Like another good smack for Bitcoin, potentially below 14, 13K, easily. So yeah, that would bring XRP back sub 30 once again. It's going to be very quick. Exchanges are not to be trusted. Exchanges don't have liquidity. So do you want to run the risk of gambling and waiting and running the risk of not being able to acquire XRP during that dip? I say buy some now, buy some later. Dollar cost average continues to be my strategy if I believe in the project during a bear market. I've bought XRP at $1.20, have no regrets. None. Absolutely none. My average buy-in's, probably gone up. My average buy-in was probably below a quarter before. Over the past couple, basically over the last year, all my average buy-ins around $1 or so, and then even back down 60 cents. I was telling you guys as we began the bear market, I was buying at 60, 50. I don't beat myself up over that, because XRP's been in a staged lawsuit, so we never knew when it was going to blow. We don't know how much is left on exchanges. And if you go look at what's on exchanges, it's not much. So it's a combination, it's a balance of hype, FOMO, like people have been saying, the haters saying that I'm being more clickbaity lately. I'm like, everything that I put in my title, I talk about and justify why the hell it's in my title. I don't do clickbait O-face. I might put 50K in my title. I'm talking about 50K. It's the subject of my video. How is that clickbait? I'm going to be talking about it. And yes, I do believe the XRP is worth more than 50 cents, somewhere between 50 cents and 50,000. But we balance that out with letting you guys know that on the technical analysis and what we're seeing here, with what's left to unfold in the liquidity crisis in the crypto space, yeah, we go lower. I don't know the exact next exchange to fall. I don't know if Tether's ready to fall this month, next month. Maybe Tether does have sufficient reserves. We need to see the reserves for the largest stablecoin in the space. Do you think that XRP is connected to Antarctica, the civilization living beyond the ice walls? Wow. I would need to get another adult beverage to talk about Antarctica, ice walls, reality. I would need another one. I don't think that we can get into that tonight. These guys are funny. I mean, these TikTok guys are funny. These TikTok guys are hilarious. They make me laugh. It's a good time. It's a good time watching the little TikTok guys. They're either mad haters of XRP, right? Or we got like, there's a lot of, there's a lot of people trying. It's good to see, actually. My guy says, Steven says, tree removal after hurricanes doing is insurance work handsomely. Running it of the Actimate program. I don't know what that is. A storm chase doing water damage and mold restoration. Steven's a storm chaser. There you go. Wherever the opportunity takes you. End of case like February, March. Yeah, so the judge is basically going to have to make a ruling by about March. March is when the judge has to make a ruling. The only way that this case ends sooner is if the judge just, decides to show up early or we get the settlement. So basically, we're just waiting on a settlement, still waiting, probably maybe another 3 months potentially, unfortunately. And worst case scenario, we got, another year or so. Can you imagine? Oh my gosh. You guys are seeing the technical analysis tells us that we're about to make a move here shortly, though. 5 spot from New Anomaly Productions. Thank you. Please get Ayu Fanium on for an interview. The man is one of the best for article diving and loves our bank coins. I've not heard of that person. That's interesting. If he's on Twitter, maybe tag me or something. I've never heard of that person, but there is a lot of new people in the space. And there's a lot of old people too that I highly respect. And we had some fun interviews over the last month, some fun interviews, some fun sessions, and we continue to line those up, and we're going to continue to bring those back to you guys. Yeah. And of course, it's been an absolute pleasure where we've been able to go with that. Now we're sitting down, now we're talking with some of the biggest and the best in the space for sure. I'm totally new to crypto. Is the best time to get in the next couple of months? Farm Dad, in my opinion, cryptocurrency does bottom out over the next few months, but we continue to basically invest off of a fundamental analysis and a thesis that we have come up after researching the space for years, researching currencies for a decade, researching the power that the Federal Reserve has held over the United States for a decade, has brought us to today's conclusion thesis. And I encourage you to get tapped in, hit that subscribe, hit that follow button, and make sure that you get caught up to speed as quickly as possible. Because yes, over the next couple months, historical events are about to play out. As we've seen, 2022 has been a historical year of transition. And it looks like next year we're going to start to recover out to the other side of this thing. The light at the end of the tunnel is the most brightest thing you've ever seen. This space is about to go through hell, and you got to understand that it can still drop another 50% easily. I swear to God, you said this exact shit last December, brother. Yeah, we've been saying a lot. And once again, everything's still at play, right? And you never know when this thing's going to break out. So, the haters continue to say, oh, you were saying this last year. Yeah. And everything on the back end has only grown. Our conviction in the asset class, the adoption outside of the United States has only grown. What's your program doing? Nothing. Nothing. Yeah. It's been a year. Our bags have gotten substantially bigger. And oh, by the way, we run real businesses, which always just makes me laugh with the haters. They think that we're just holding 2,000 XRP and hoping and praying every night. God, please give me 10K XRP, please. It's like, brother, may God be with you as you understand that we are real players in this game, real businesses. What recession? How is your program working out? Let's get tapped in. Let's get something done. Let's fix that. We're here to help. God bless you. We're here to help. The SEC case could have ended a year ago. So that's the thing, we had a big bag then. We got a bigger bag now. We're surviving. The only thing that we've been wrong about is the timeline. The timeline we've been wrong about. Only on the XRP asset, though. Everything else we've been spot on. You go back. I got to repost it. I got to repost my 2022 predictions. Yeah. I put out a video right at the beginning of the year. 2022 predictions. Nearly all of them have come true. I think all of them actually have. The only thing that we've been wrong about is the XRP timeline. But that's fine. I don't need to get the timeline right. I need to get the fundamental analysis right. Or like I say, if we're even 10% right about XRP and what it's going to do, it's still a life-changing opportunity. Wow, it only goes to $100. Okay, fine. At $10, we've changed our lives. So what does it matter? Timeline is kind of important. Well, that's what I'm saying. We've only gotten the timeline wrong with XRP. When you look at Bitcoin, we called the Bitcoin bear market. We said it was going to begin exactly on December 4th. Go ahead, pull back up the chart, look and see the big, massive drop that we had on December 4th. Bitcoin bear market begins. Go back, pull back the clips from just a month ago when I said that we were going to have something to bring us back down to the downside, to watch out closely for November 8th, election day, full blood moon lunar eclipse. Back-to-back eclipses. Heads up, ritual sacrifice of FTX on the exact date. So no, we've been spot on with the timeline, except for XRP. And I'll give you guys this one, Trump. Hey, everything's still at play. Lots still at play. So we've been wrong about XRP and Trump's timeline. That's fine. Oh, as long as we get the fundamental analysis right, we have generational wealth, regardless. All right, folks. I think I'm going to wrap up this session, though. It's been an absolute pleasure. Okay. You guys know it's been a crazy time. I'm just trying to provide clarity for you guys amidst all this chaos, distractions, bear market, recession, and the tough times that we go through. Let's enjoy this Christmas season, holiday season with your family, with your loved ones. You enjoy it. And we're going to continue to bring you guys major updates over the next month. You guys saw the dates. Let me read them off for you again. Once again, this week, we have the hearing with Sam Bankman-Fried on the 13th. Rupert Murdoch being deposed 13th through the 14th. That's in regards to the election. Look out. Fed is going to be meeting on the 13th and 14th. We're going to see how much they raise interest rates by. SEC votes on Wall Street overhaul, the largest overhaul for Wall Street in decades, going to be on the 14th. Texas BlackRock hearing 12:15, major on ESG standards. And then Charles Hoskinson says that the SEC Ripple lawsuit is rumored to be settled by December 15th. And then we have our Congress going to break. The House leaves on the 16th. The Senate leaves on the 21st. And then on January 6th, watch out for a conference that the Supreme Court is supposed to be having in regards to the Brunson versus Adams case. Look it up for yourself. I can't speak on it on this platform, but you guys understand where I'm coming from. You understand what's on the way, and that's what keeps us so tapped in and prepared. Cryptocurrency, current events, and the greatest transfer of wealth in world history. I am your host, Zach Rector, and I appreciate everyone for helping me grow this community far and wide. On our way out, if you haven't already, please do me a favor, smash that thumbs up. Check out the affiliates down below. If you're looking to roll over your retirement account, 401k to precious metals, get the process started because it takes some time, and you guys see what's on the charts. You guys see the fundamental analysis that we're seeing, the handshake deals between Mohammed bin Salamani there in Saudi Arabia. The deals are getting done with the BRICS nations, and these nations are moving rapidly, and the central banks are growing their central bank vaults, record amounts of gold being stuffed away. So if you've considered that and you want to make that move from your retirement account, 401k, over to precious metals, get in touch with my link on down below, link at the top of my website, Precious Metals. Get it done, get it started, because the process does take some time, and we see major timeline events on the horizon over the next month. We're going to continue to watch it unfold together. I appreciate all of you guys so much. God bless. We'll see you tomorrow on the next one. Take care.